Okay, so this is step one of our experiment. So we have labeled each of these. I've made different patterns as well so we can identify once they come out. So like this is just a plain garter net. Then here I have the drop stitch thin ribbon that's cotton. This one is like a reused t-shirt yarn. This one is like just a purling stitch with the edging, and then this one I have the like line pattern. This one I was attempting to make holes on the edges, so because I had the idea of like picking it up. And then obviously we have these two like little tray bowls, and then here there's some unknown mixes. So we've labeled all the fiber content, and we're going to test these tote bags as well. So the plan is we're soaking them with clay slip, which is being mixed up in the background. And then we're going to dry them in position, and then they will be fired. And we're going to see what happens in the final result and how these fibers do. So here we go. This is our very first one. So this is the 100% cotton that's a fingering weight. And this was a leftover yarn from a piece that I had that was actually that pattern. So that inspired me to do this pattern. And conceptually, this was going to be like a dish that you put on your dresser for rings or something like that. So I think that's supposed to go the other way.
What?
To dry.
No.
Because the pattern's on the other side.
Oh, my bad. That's what you mean.
Yes. Okay. Knitting expert, ceramics expert, meeting together in the scientific inquiry of minds.
Number two.
Okay, so number two, yes. So this is cotton and wool. So this is 80% cotton, 20% wool. And almost everything we're doing has some natural fibers. Most of them are 100% natural. But we have a few that were a little unknown, so we weren't sure. Because literally one of them, the label just said other. 30% other fibers. What does that mean? We don't know.
Oh, I like how it feels.
Ooh.
Is this the correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're using these like, what are they?
Molds.
Plaster molds to kind of dry them into the correct shape for the tray. And it's interesting, you can see a color difference of the yarn peeking through.
This one stretched a lot more.
Yes. That's a little bit of a looser, because that has a lace and that one's just cabling, so it might stretch more. So that's also, each of these is a different pattern as well. So it's not as scientific as it could be due to the fact that I did different patterns for each of these, but that's also to help distinguish after they're fired. Okay, so now we're doing, this is a lace weight, just plain garter stitch. It's like a swash. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. We just wanted to test it. I was going to do something smaller, but it was too fiddly.
It's interesting how each fabric has a different, like,
textural feel.
Yeah.
So this
it absorbs the slip.
This one is 80% wool, 20% silk. And I've had this yarn a long time. I've been hauling it from country to country for 20 years because it's such a nice yarn. I didn't know what to do with it. Every time I try to de-stash, this one still makes the cut. And now finally we found something to do with it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be wanting to hold the clay. Like this one, I can tell the clay got absorbed. This, I'm a little...
Okay.
I might dump it again.
That's actually, I was wondering if we would do multiple dunks.
Well, this is a plaster slip casting, so yeah, as you can see, it's already started to dry on there. Which one is the front?
That side's the back.
This back. All right, well, I tried one more time. I may have mucked it up.
Well, that's interesting because one of these is wool So the cotton wool mix right now you think is absorbing it the best.
Yeah.
Okay. So just based on feel,
Yeah.
we like the 80% cotton, 20% wool mix. Okay. And also it can be how it's processed, because there are different ways of processing both the cotton and the wool. And I still have the label for that cotton wool so we can look at it.
Okay. This is the cotton ribbon.
This is cotton ribbon. So this is a Noro cotton ribbon.
This is absorbing it nicely.
Okay. So
it might be the looser knit.
Okay. Looser knit might be more successful. I did a couple of these ribbon ones, and one of them is in cotton as well, so we can see what happens. If the ribbon one comes out real well, that right there knit up real fast. Like real fast, guys. Like if that comes out looking good,
ooh, look at that. It looks great.
We'll be sitting pretty, because that'll be easy. And I have like 5 balls of that.
Okay. Now we're gonna.
Okay, so this one is a mohair unknown mix, and I really wanted to see what happened with a fuzzy hair yarn. Like if we brushed it, could we make like a sculptural sheep that looks fuzzy but is hard? Like that would be fascinating.
Ooh. Seems to be the wool ones. Obviously, it has the most like reaction to water.
Okay.
Right? Just as a matter of like, it's getting absorbed through.
Thank you for helping me with the documentation process. And basically, you're doing all the soaking. This is
you did all the knitting.
It's
a teamwork.
It is a teamwork. The clay expert and then the fiber knitting expert. Yeah, see, so here's what the fuzzy little pieces have kind of all matted down, and I just don't know what that's going to look like. I'm intrigued. Okay, so this is a linen viscose mix. So if you're not familiar, viscose is a plant fiber, and a linen is a plant itself. I didn't know what would happen. It's similar texturally to cotton, but linen can be stiffer. And I've used linen before to do stiff lace weight hats, because it stiffens really, really well. So I didn't know what would happen with that.
Ooh. Maybe it has to do with the roughness of the fiber as well.
Yeah, and it could be, you're right, it could be like how I knitted it. So if we find fibers that worked really well, I have plenty, and we can take that and then do different patterns with it and see if it is like the density of the knitting. Okay, so this is our t-shirt. This was a yarn I found that's 70% cotton and then 30% unknown, and it's that t-shirt yarn where they've taken like and reused old fabric and turned it into like a yarn. And so I didn't know what would happen, but I thought it would take this drop stitch really well, and I thought it might be an interesting texture for a basket if it turns out well, because it kind of almost looks like a basket weave. And once again, those drop stitches, they are so fast to knit up. This one, never again.
Okay, worsted wool.
Okay, so this is a worsted wool. Some of these are from my stash, so that's like a Knit Picks worsted wool from 20 years ago. Oh, did I just? That's actually what I was making those. The flowers that I was making. Okay. Are out of that, and but I was like, well, I have this other yarn that isn't wool that I could use for that, so I stopped. So we could do more natural fibers. What are those? My drop. Wisteria. Those are the wisteria flowers. I'm making it out of 2 different versions of that.
Okay.
And then this is our last unknown chunky yarn that I found. It felt like it had like...
I put the plastic over there and it's dripping all over here.
Oops-a-doodles. We made a mess. Art is messy.
Science is messy.
Science is messy too. So art and science together, double messy. That's how that works. It's mathematical.
We're mathing.
We're mathing, sciencing, and arting. It's a multidisciplinary object and project.
Okay, I'm not gonna squeeze it. Here. And I'm gonna
Let it drip a little bit.
drip off.
Okay.
Now, the two that I'm interested in doing.
I'm just gonna, since they're gonna dry this way, I'm gonna try and like
Yeah,
neaten the lines a little bit. It's a good thing I put on a glove after all, even though I'm just the camera crew for this. Oh, this is the one I was trying to make these like holes. So I probably should go through and like make sure the holes are poked in there on the edges. So, because I did this patterning where I made a hole on purpose, which actually not as easy to find if you're not doing a lace pattern than you would think. Okay, so we're also doing this canvas bag soap. You know when you get those swag bags? That's what that is. An attempt to find a use for them, give them new life.
Ooh. I'm gonna let that soak
That's a good idea.
since it's such a large.
So we'll report back on what happens with the bags, and I'm just gonna straighten up and make sure these holes in this one end up like without clay in them, because I wanted to try and pick it up with yarn and do like a yarn edging. So this is the experiment laid out. I will report back later. We might need to do a second coating on that one because I can really see the yarn through it. That might be a way to tell if there's a problem. See how that one we can see so much of the yarn? We'll see. We'll report back later. So this is just a plastic bag that's been inflated with a rubber band to have it hold its shape. And we're going to test this one. If it works out, we were thinking maybe even like having the handles hanging, and then it's like a hanging planter basket or something. Lots of fun possibilities happening for repurposing like leftover pieces of things. So one more time, this is our like layout. Everything's got to dry, and then we're going to fire it. Very excited.
This is going well.
So this is the next stage. We've done a double soaking. So later there was a second soaking, and some of them are quite stiff, and we think they might turn out, but we're not really sure. So this is like what the texturing looks like, and we have concerns. There are concerns that maybe this didn't absorb enough clay and it'll just collapse into dust. So my personal theory, like with this one, is that it's thick enough, like when you look at the bottom, that this bottom part will turn out, but these edges will kind of collapse in because there isn't enough clay. So we're kind of basically going to see if I'm right. So this is kind of similar. This was a lace leaf pattern, but it was upside down. So like I thought, you know, this actually looks pretty cool in comparison now because it got so soaked with clay, but then this part might be the part that actually stays together. And we also had this texture experiment using this. So we're also considering the possibility of making some of these for texture as well to see what happens. So we're gonna fire them as is and kind of just see what happens with it. And this bag has now been switched out for sponges for drying, and it's come out pretty stiff, and we're intrigued about what's gonna happen. So this is day 2 of the clay experimentation. We're just not sure. We've already decided for sure though that I'm gonna remake this one, but we're gonna do it flat and see about doing a texture piece with it and see what happens with that. So So there's also that as well. So there's already new intriguing path to go on. See,
Maybe it's the lace pattern.
because like that's holy.
But that's the one that, like we could, I think, yeah, that's the holy line of like putting that on top of a existing vessel.
Yeah, I think the holy ones. I think that needs to happen. This one is more delicate than I thought it would be. It looked like it really came out. But yeah, these thicker, chunkier yarns, that's the ticket right there. Yeah. This one feels real secure, real. But still lighter weight than it looks, and it's not flat, so maybe it needs to be flattened. But yeah, like this came out the way I thought, honestly. Once you pick it up, you can feel how delicate it is in comparison. And like this looks fabulous, but it's too delicate. Okay, so this was the 100% cotton. It was too delicate. I think this is a pattern that we could put, but it needs more clay to support it, as well as like this one. So they absorbed the clay well, it just was too fine. So that kind of pattern, I think, just needs more supporting structure.
Okay.
Oh, more of that survived than I thought, honestly. But it is crumbly. Oh my God, look how fabulous that is. Like if we can get that impression on like a mug, but I think it needs more additional clay underneath it to support it. Oh, that one came out real nice.
This one probably has too much, but also nice.
Ah, this was the experimental mohair yarn. And you can see like this kind of,
Oh, this one fell apart.
oh no, another one. Oh,
That one I can't even pick up.
yeah.
Night-night.
All right. Ooh.
Oh, that one broke. Oh.
Oh, it didn't hold up. Sadness.
Oh, that's just like a cracker.
You're a cracker.
We don't know.
Okay. So this is it fired in the kiln, and actually quite a bit of it came out better than I thought it would. So this one fell apart a little bit here on the edges, but overall held up more than I thought. These pieces all seem okay, and then this was the silk wool waist weight, and it really cracked apart. But this one came out really decent. I'm hoping that's going to hold up. That's the 100% cotton ribbon. So yeah, let's pull these out. Well, now that's going to be memorialized on the internet. All right, so here we are again, out of the kiln. We really want to see if glazing, even though it's broken, will help this, because we love this cotton pattern. But the thicker, chunkier yarns held the clay better. Even though this pattern has a lot of loops, this was the 70% cotton t-shirt yarn. Because it was so thick, it's held up pretty well. It still feels delicate, but the glazing we think will help. But some of these really delicate patterns and yarns we think need like clay under support or an underglaze. I'm just going on what my clay consultant over here recommended. I don't know what an underglaze is, but this is what she said. So we're combining our skill set here. So this is the recommendation. So we're still going to try and glaze some of these pieces to just see what happens with the texture and brittle nature of it after. So the experiment continues, and here is our dustpan of mysterious leftover pieces that we might save and glaze and see what happens or not. So here we are in our glazing experiments. So some of the things that have really been coming up is that this thicker yarn definitely has been sturdier. This is a couple of layers of glaze. We're gonna come back in with one more. This one was so delicate that when I brushed it on, I could feel it kind of crumbling under the brush. So I have a lot of concerns that even if we had a stronger, thicker clay, in the slip, because we were talking about making our own slip with more clay, that it still might not hold up. But I like this concept of the relief on top, or in the reverse, having a dark underneath and then a light on top. So I think that's going to make the knitted stitches stand out more. So this is an interesting experiment. Yeah, my ombre one.
Yeah.
That's our t-shirt cotton yarn that has really turned out well. So yeah, this is a current update. We got to do one more layer, maybe 2 with this one, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so this is the final firing. This one came out great, and this one needed really another coat. It was the lightest one, and I love it. It looks great. Like, the stitch definition is really clear. This is one of the last ones that I did that was like this mixed wool. This was the t-shirt yarn that also came out great. I absolutely love it. It's really clear. I'm definitely going to use this recycled cotton t-shirt yarn again. This was a mixed wool and mohair, and I like this less. Like, I wondered how the fuzzes were going to come out, and I don't see the stitch definition in the same way. Then this is the one, it was super delicate, 100% cotton. When I painted it on, I could feel it coming off, but I love the stitch patterns on this. So maybe this, but in like a chunkier yarn or a little denser somehow. And then this one I was not very attracted to, but now that it's glazed, I like it a lot more, for sure. This was very fine, and I definitely don't want to make this again because it was so annoying to make. But I think this shows that the glazing patterns bring out things that weren't as attractive before, because I love the pattern definition on this now. So overall, I think that the chunkier yarns came out better because they were able to hold more of the clay. But these delicate patterns might make a really nice texture on top of clay as like a support structure. Because I would love this on a mug. Absolutely, on a mug. Like, so have the mug, then place this over it, like after this, soaking it in the slip and then firing it. I think that would look amazing.